Welcome to the final hour of the show, everybody. Hi, yeah, it's me. That's right. Same person who was in the show earlier. Every single show. David Sponheim, welcome. Hi, yeah. This is the final hour, the kicker. So we're kind of pushing ourselves to the nth degree here in the fourth hour. We had a crash on the computer because I have about 60 tabs open. Let me show you how many tabs I have here. It's unbelievable. I mean, I can only hold so many shows in abeyance. 153 News is what's taking up a lot of that space. We got all these shows in the middle here that are coming up at the end of our 1 hour. So we'll be playing those live in the evening. I have a video show that goes from 10 to 2 in the morning every night. Well, Streaky Bacon says, without you, I have no reason to live. Wow. Well, that's the inspiration we're looking for. You know, I offer a lot of people a chance to communicate with the outside world and interact with me through chat, and it gives me a chance to communicate my concerns about the country and talk in a political venue every night. So this is actually a win-win for both of us. I do this for free, as you know. I'm not like Alex Jones, who derives an income from it. And my goal is to continue this the broadcast to build this community. It's really a big part of it. Yeah, I don't know who Howie is. That's a bannable offense. Okay, you can't find anyone to recover you after that. Yeah, we had a little, override on our broadcast system. It just took too much. There's 16 gigabytes of RAM, could only handle so much. But we got some serious stories here about recent deaths. I think because this is Conspiracy Monday, I want to show you this beautiful woman who passed away. And she claimed that she ran into a pedophile ring, a massive pedophile ring. Big Brother contestant found dead after uncovering VIP pedophile ring. The body of a former Big Brother contestant, this woman, Natasha Jait, was claimed to have evidence. She claimed to have evidence about a number of well-known politicians abusing children. Yeah, it's kind of wild considering the tweet that Macaulay Culkin just put in. Rami Malek eats babies. There, I said it. That's just so wild and weird that anybody in the world listening to that from the Pizzagate perspective or the Pedogate thing is wondering what the heck this is all about. And believe it or not, there are people out there that claim to have eaten babies, and they do it on a regular basis. And the government has done nothing to go after these people, including in England and in Belgium and other areas. They're so powerful, they're above the law. Now, if this is really happening, if it really is, we need to, as a nation, get to the bottom of this in our own country and why kids are missing. And there are 55,000 kids missing every year. No one knows where they went. And it's not mom and dads taking them from each other. That's absorbed in another statistic much larger. But we're talking about abductions and deaths and torture and the whole thing. And if the American people and the good people of this country sit back and do nothing, this evil will persist. Now, whether Macaulay Culkin is telling what he knows and finally truth-telling, which many people think may be the tipping point, we don't know, but if he continues to live, it'll be interesting to see. But this woman was exposing something big. She was 41, said that after her claims, she had been receiving death threats and was the victim of rape. The model's naked body was found in a bed at a private house party in Buenos Aires, Argentina. She's believed to have gone to the party with friend Raul Duarte to meet the owner of a property rented out for private parties. And then she died. She'd been receiving death threats, and autopsy results show she suffered multiple organ failures with cocaine residue found in her nose. But according to her brother, the mom of two never took drugs after being warned by doctors it could be fatal if mixed with her medication. So she never did drugs. She never took cocaine, according to this study. Her lawyer and brother have told local media her death may have been murder. So yeah, very serious stuff that is going on in the world that we don't normally get a chance to talk about except on Conspiracy Monday. So I guess we talked about it. Let's move on.
Hi, guys. All right. I want to thank my subscriber for sending this along to me. This is in Chandler, Arizona. Watch this.
Security cameras recorded officers breaking down the front door of this Chandler family's home.
Police department, come on with your hands up!
Earlier that day, the family doctor found 2-year-old Heber's temperature to be 105 and instructed his mother, Sarah Beck, to take him to the ER, mentioning a concern for meningitis. Once in her car, his mother took his temperature again and found it was going down.
He's acting normal. He's dancing at the sisters and in his car seat, and I take his temperature, and his temperature was 102.
So they went home. She says by then the fever had dropped even more.
We love our children. We love them. If our children needed help, we would absolutely help them.
The doctor, learning they had not gone to the ER, called DCS. And later that night, the family got a visit from Chandler Police. After the family didn't answer the door, police broke it down.
Wow.
Police documents show they discovered the older children had been vomiting and said they found the child's room to be very messy.
The clutter was laundry on our couch.
Police also located an unlocked shotgun in the parents' bedroom.
It actually is inert. It doesn't work.
DCS took all 3 children for medical evaluation. Their parents have not heard from them since.
Like we're holding our kids hostage, or they're deathly ill, or they're barely alive, or they were perfectly fine. He was in my arms, sleeping. As I'm on the phone with the police officer, I took his temperature. It was 100 degrees. There's no reason for me to give up my kid because he has a temperature of 100 degrees and sleeping.
I'm just beside myself. I just want my kids. I just want to know, are they okay?
Okay, we're going to have more of this story tonight from Never Lose Truth. She's got a really good program. You'd certainly hear more of it tonight. Yeah, that's tragic when you see families ripped apart by ridiculous, overreaching police forces and CPS. And this is what we're talking about. I mean, one woman, Nancy Schaefer, actually it was very involved in Georgia politics as a state senator, and she went out of her way to deal with families who were getting falsely their kids taken away. And she processed enough claims to really make huge question marks about the real activity going on with the CPS organization, Child Protective Services. Now, 2-time Georgia Senator Nancy Schaefer fought to expose corruption in CPS, calling their work legal kidnapping. And she and her husband were murder-suicided with subsequent full cover-up, and she will not be forgotten. I did a special on her on my website, on my David John Sponheim website. I have a thing on missing kids cover-up. It was really traumatic when I read all the stories about what happened. And she'd worked with a filmmaker who disappeared right after she died. He's nowhere to be found anywhere. And she had given over 2.5, 3 hours of film footage to be turned into a documentary about the dangers of the CPS network. And all of that film footage was taken and lost. We're not sure. We've got people in here who are just hateful, and DTV has to understand that you can't just, you can't just have a rant that continues on non sequitur and just rolls along. You have to assemble sentences. Right. Our institutions have been taken over by Marxists. I agree. And it's that same push by the Democratic Party we're stopping. This is what we're trying to stop, is these people who are ultra liberal, who think that CPS can do no wrong, who think that the government needs to be brutal in order to resolve problems, that we have to all have our rights taken away. These are the people we're trying to stop. The ones like the Democrats who are ultimately trying to take away our right to bear arms, our freedom of speech, you name it. They want to call everything hate speech. So we are up against the wall with the Democrats pulling us from a commie left-wing position and then on the right, we've got the fascist, greed mongers who simply want to rape our nation's equity and sell it off to some corporation and make money in the process. So, and you're going to have to cut back on the F word, Streaky Bacon, and learn how to talk in here. Otherwise, your night will be over and you'll be banned. I'm trying to be as lenient as possible with you. Well, 105 temperature should definitely go to the doctor. That's what they say. I mean, even 103, you're supposed to go to the doctor. At 101.5, you're supposed to go to the doctor. There are all kinds of recommendations, but he's right. At 100 temperature, his kids were fine. They had no right to barge in there and rip the family apart. It's ridiculous. So the Never Lose Truth is going to give you her take tonight, and that'll be very interesting because she's a woman, and she's outspoken. I like that about her. And she talks to you, the viewer, as though you're her friend. Or maybe not so much friend, just a listener. Yeah, a lot of good stuff tonight in the lineup. Maximum viewing pleasure. China trade deal looking more and more like a sell the news opportunity for stock investors. I don't believe that Donald Trump is going to be moving forward with any major changes in the trade dispute that he created, because I think what has happened is I've got a lot of links here I got to get rid of. Hang on. What has happened is he's created a big rift between President Xi Jinping and himself by arresting this woman Meng and having her go out on $10 million bail, the CFO and daughter of the CEO of Huawei, the 5G communications leader in China. He's made a very bad deal making that happen. So let's see what he's struck. Let's take a look. It's sell the news opportunity for stock investors. Stocks tumbled Monday in parts on concerns the trade agreement may leave lingering uncertainty by retaining tariffs and not including a tough enough enforcement mechanism. And even though sources told CNBC a deal is close at hand, Trump could meet with his Chinese counterpart at the end of the month. But again, the question of Meng being arrested and then put out on $10 million on bail is hanging over their heads, and this is all because Donald Trump has virtually become a victim of his own mistakes. I was one that said we should not reimpose economic sanctions against Iran just because we weren't signing the treaty. Donald Trump took my idea and said, I'm not going to sign the treaty with Iran. And then all of a sudden now it's turned into this disaster. I'm of the belief we could keep some open trade with Iran in lieu of the fact that their economy depends on it, and we're not really getting anywhere with punishments like economic sanctions. But I don't think we needed to sign the treaty because we were spending too much money as it was. So I was the one that came up with that concept, especially considering that Iran didn't have any oversight initially of their weapons program, and they installed all these sunset provisions that give them the ability to avoid weapons inspections well into the future, which is a bad thing for our country. So no point in signing that. But we didn't need to reimpose economic sanctions. The only thing that we really have to impose economic sanctions on would be like ink and counterfeit paper, which they use to create currency to fund terrorism, like they did with the Yemenis currency that they created in order to fund Hezbollah and Hamas. So, I mean, Iran is up to no good, don't get me wrong, but imposing a huge, broad-reaching economic sanctions decree against a country like Iran is bad for business. And I don't know how Trump made it his business work other than borrowing money from Russian oligarchs, because if you approach business the way Trump does, you'd lose every time. And the only reason why Trump has won in business encounters is because he's riding on the rapport of his parents and the money his dad gave him, the $430 million that somehow managed to get in his hands. So believe me, you would automatically lose money, and Donald Trump was losing money with his dad's money to the point where his dad was concerned about him at a certain point, and that tax investigation went on about a year ago and is pretty revealing. He got $430 million from his father, Fred, and then he lost a lot of it. So regaining that equity has got to be making deals with Russian oligarchs. That's how it happened. In case you're wondering, he didn't earn it the old-fashioned way. He didn't have a Kool-Aid stand like I did at 7 years old and, saved every penny I ever had to buy my SR50 calculator and go on to study higher mathematics at the age of 15. He didn't save his money. He didn't get a 25 cents a week allowance like I did. Okay, so this idea here is really interesting. Dropping food on areas like Venezuela, it's my alternative to the problem we're having at the border, because I think we could drop food on their border without them intercepting or firing our vehicles down. I think we could do that. This particular idea has never been implemented, and it's something I will do. I'll have regional supplies at every single FEMA area, and we want to ultimately create this solution to provide safety for people, or immediate food for people who are in a disaster, like Katrina, or even people outside our country that need help. And it'd be better to give them real food as opposed to humanitarian assistance through rail cars that could take forever. But the wall idea is definitely something we need to move on, and that's why at the basis of our show we talk about the need for a 1,000-mile container fence. And we have that container wall already set up here. Yeah, we could also construct one for you. An example here. But this idea could be implemented without the big, huge problem that Trump is having with the wall. The police state has crept up on us, yeah. It started with NDAA, National Defense Authorization Act, under Barack Obama in 2012, really extracted a lot of our rights. And the Patriot Act before it, yeah, the Freedom Act. The whole thing is just one thing after another. The more we're pretending to see terrorism in our country or around the world, the more they're moving toward violating our personal freedom to create security. And there's a slippery slope that we're on. Okay, I guess Howie finally came out as Streaky Bacon. It was Howie all along, so we banned him. He's taken to drinking, I guess. And Trump never prosecuted Hillary, which is another proof I use in the discussion with Republicans that Trump is simply doing exactly what the deep state wants him to do. Well, I've already been a selfless servant to this show. My first obligation is to give you guys entertainment every night for free, as well as commentary and cutting-edge news stories that you wouldn't see anywhere else. So I've already fulfilled that. But as your president, my first obligation would be to get everybody some opportunity where they don't have it right now. And that includes businesses. The U.S. businesses are going to get a 2% loan. We're also going to give $15 per hour wages to people that do hire, who get a 2% loan. So we're sidestepping the minimum wage law using that technique. Another idea would be to get the Homestead Renewal Plan rolling, which will generate immediate house sales for the country, and the country can start flipping houses for the people. There's got to be a better way. If we can develop solutions that get people a house within a 5-year period, that's what I'm talking, or a 10-year period, that's what I'm talking about. I'm looking for my link there. I don't have that. Huh. Oh, I'm sorry. You've been removed from the show. Good night. Right. You were a little bit obnoxious there on the Republican side. DTV had to take a break because his arch-right conservative views are so, they're like massive stools that collect in your anus that you can't expurge because you're so constipated. That's the mindset of the Republican Party. They're the worst. They're unable to even listen to people who talk about change. I know a Republican or two, I'll tell you. And, whenever you bring up stories that are interesting, like recycling plastic or getting rid of plastic altogether, they go on this rant about how plastic isn't even recycled now. You know, I literally have talked to people who say, why bother with recycling? Nobody does it anyway, and they don't even use that plastic, so it's all just a big waste of time. But seriously, I think we're killing the planet. I think the more plastic bags we have, the more destructive it's going to get. Whatever happened to good old-fashioned paper? Remember paper or plastic used to be an option? Well, now it's just here, take the plastic bag and give us 15 cents. The two-party system is killing this country. We haven't been allowed to have another party. It's been completely prevented from even it forming. It's happening all the time. Yeah. But the party idea is in and of itself something you can't control, just like you can't control individual political action committees. They're always forming. That's the nature of this, of what we have. But we have is so dominated by the Democrats and the Republicans that the party system isn't even working. If we had 3 or 4 parties, it'd be great. But that's the problem. Well, let's be clear. Now, Trump is inspiring rebellion. And if it's true that Trump says people would revolt if we were to be impeached, impeach this. Yeah. Right. I don't know. I don't know if a right-wing led rebellion would even take hold. Most people are so fluoridated, it's highly unlikely that the right-wingers, who basically are just sitting around drinking beer and masturbating to porn, these closet case chicken hawk Republicans are not going to get out of the closet and do diddly squat. I'm not really worried. I think we should just dance and have a good time. What do you say? All I can say is that this is a nonstop waste of our time in politics with the two-party system. We're not getting anywhere. We're not solving any problem. Okay, that was designed to make you feel different and alternative to your normal thought process, which is getting kind of boring. All right.
I just, after I posted that last video, just found out 23 people dead in Alabama from tornadoes.
Whoa.
Children, men, women.
Tornadoes touched down. At least 14 people are now confirmed dead.
It's now 23.
Wow, 23 up. You know, we're seeing major climate change across the country, and anyone who denies it, like Trump and the Trump-tards, really have to really question whether they are even on this planet with us. And the Hillary Clinton supporters are equally out to lunch. None of them want to admit the reality that this is happening because of chemtrails. I mean, logic tells you that the more they spray these things in the air and dump on our heads, the more the climate will be altered. I mean, this is simple logic, folks. What's wrong with your brain that you can't understand this? Don't answer that. It's too difficult. Just sit there and kind of melt into your easy chair and become a couch potato, but a twice-baked couch potato. Why worry about anything at this point? We're also overwhelmed with future shock. That's shocking. Okay, we got a bunch of stuff in the lineup tonight. That's great, too. Whew, wow. So, coming to grips with the reality that... What? We have an elk? This is for real. Oh my gosh. There's an elk that migrated to our little island here. That's so funny. His name is David Sponheim. No, just kidding. Look at that. He got tangled up in a net there. But his elk horns. That's so rare to see an elk arrive at a place like this. He swam to Whidbey Island in September of 2012. Huh. The sole elk inhabitant of our little island has once again gotten something wrapped up as an elk. That is so funny. I had no idea we had an elk on the island. You can hunt anything that lives, as long as it's in hunting season, deer, elk, whatever. As long as you're ready to kill animals, you're ready to go. I overheard a lot of people in my area talk about shooting. They like to go hunting quite a bit. I'm a nature lover. I see the world in the opposite way, unless of course I'm really hungry for food. But I'm sure it is meat for you and Sarah for a year. I know people that do the elk hunting and down in California. They ritually go down to California with a refrigerated carrier and they kill 3 or 4 elk and bring them home for burgers for their kids. I've met people that do that. Seriously. But in my island, there's a lot of free-ranging deer just rolling around, and I love deer. I think they're beautiful. I absolutely would never kill one unless I was starving to death. And I hear about people killing them all the time when they're easy game, and it's just pathetic. I'm not that, but I know that people have to eat too, and I know that there's a serious overgrowth of deer in our area. Can't help it. All right, so many people do try to come in here and attack our show nightly. I've got to understand, I've been doing this show since 2008, and I can knock people out faster than anybody. And we literally started the show having to ban trolls. And we've been doing it for 10 years. So if you think you've got some new thing happening, good luck with that. I can't believe you're even still trying after 10 years of being defeated. So Madison Star Moon is going to talk about the Death Tower has gone wild. This is another video that came in. I will speak for everybody. You can count on me for speaking for everybody. I've got more than enough things to talk about. The problem is I can only get 1 or 2 seconds of media time in 10 years. So otherwise I could speak for everyone. Uh-oh. Malfunction. We interrupt this broadcast to bring you Cowbell. Please hold. Okay, that's for all of you to mellow out, because sometimes conspiracies could be pretty freaky. You don't want to get too wrapped up in conspiracy thinking. If you were to comprehend all the things that I happen to understand within a few minutes, you get really scared. So I hope you understand that a lot of these ideas in Conspiracy Monday have to be taken slowly. You can't just accept things all of a sudden and go, whoa, dude, they're going to fry us with weapons of mass destruction, dude. What are we going to do, man? They're coming to get us, man. Yeah, it happens. They've got directed energy weapons that could fry you in your bed while you're sitting here.
Polga on the power lines and cutting back trees. So he was very familiar with the work, right?
Yes, very, very familiar. The PG&E personally was not cutting down trees. They had a secondary company who came in and did all that, but PG&E would be there.
Yeah, so this is a pretty interesting video showing the photographs of trees that were hit with directed energy weapons. Look at the fire descending from the skies. And it's very disturbing to think that they use these directed energy weapons. Look at the phased radar coming from up above. These are actual photographs of the Paradise Fire. All right. A lot of people weren't even using the services too. See how empty this area looks? This was a spillover area for the Paradise Fire. And you see very few people who were displaced from their home were actually using Red Cross services, which begs the question, where did 20,000 people go? Now, the official death count was 88. Then it went down to 83. Then it went up to 85. Now, I don't know how an official death count can migrate up and down, but I smell cover-up. Where's the missing 20,000 people? Where have all the people gone? In Paradise, California. Yes, Hillary would have been looked at for Benghazi. She had a lot of baggage with Benghazi. They had a lot of problems with the Haitian Bill Clinton Foundation. I understand that there is a RICO Act investigation and sealed indictments, according to people on the right, that claim that there is an investigation going on into Hillary and the Clinton Foundation. But again, nothing from Trump. He's remained mute on the subject, which means he's completely controlled and never wanted to follow through on the prosecution of Hillary. He just said that to get elected. Another lie from the Trump camp. Yeah. We need to get oversight over the Democrats. They're really corrupt. It looks to me like John Kerry may have invested in Iran too and violated the Logan Act when he went over there to handle business when Trump didn't sign the treaty. So things don't add up on the Democratic side either. And Hillary Clinton has the death count, the body count of 136 people that have died mysteriously all around Bill and Hillary, all ready to testify in cases against Bill and Hillary, and all died a day before. I mean, these are very suspicious things that need to be heavily investigated. The fact that Bernie Sanders through that election in 2016 is very suspicious, and he made enough to equal two houses at $600,000 apiece and an Audi R8, which looks to me very much like he threw the election in favor of Hillary purposely. And there's evidence that he did it at the DNC meetings too, in the committee meeting or the actual convention. He threw the entire race, didn't take the opportunity to get his name out there. Dr. Colostomy is personally investigating all of this. Excellent. Well, maintain your willful diligence, because you must have done some serious research to become a doctor of colostomies. Are you a proctologist or just practically an ologist or something? Are you do you actually do colostomy work, Dr. Colostomy? Here's Madison Star Moon, our reigning environmentalist, talking about Death Tower has gone wild. The 5G network is really untested, except on animals, in which it shows they kill animals left and right.
So I was not convinced that this was probably a Death Tower, but Madison had a hunch that it was, and she turned out to be right. Incredibly, this cross on top of this church is actually an antenna.
The cross is an antenna. A Death Tower antenna. Hey, we've got a new campaign strategy, but if you're living in New Jersey and California, it's not applicable. So I'm introducing the MASA. It's Make America Straight Again. What do you think? You like it? Make America Straight Again? MASA? No. I don't think that's going to fly too much. And again, if you're in New Jersey and California, don't go with that. Yeah. It has other overtones too, like even the word massa sounds very, well, you know. Well, the reality is many people are dealing with 5G killing them in their brain. Many, believe it or not, well, that's the thing. It's not massa like the old word massa for the master of a plantation. That's not what I'm applying. But Make America Straight Again. Just threw it out there. Okay, forget it. We already dispensed with the idea of Make America Great Again because Ronald Reagan came up with the idea and Donald Trump stole it. Well, if Nancy could just start performing sexually, I would be much happier as a man. Well, I think at one point Nancy got kind of, into Valium. During her Just Say No to Drugs campaign, but yes to Valium, she didn't really perform as the sexy first lady that we thought she was, A lot of you have big expectations about Nancy Reagan. I know you still think about her in that way. The rumors may be true, I don't know, but I thought I could change the subject by talking about Nancy Reagan. It worked for a while, but now it no longer works. Yeah, well, I am more better than you, thank you. See, I don't really need mods in the show because we have one stalker that comes in here, and he changes his name. He must have 20 different accounts every night, and it's just endless. So if you see me banning a lot, it's just this one guy living in his basement. His grandpa already called me and said the guy's suffering from OCD, and they can't even get him a job. He's one of these nutcases who barricaded himself in his parents' basement. What makes America great, in my opinion, is the fact that we don't have 5G networks, towers everywhere. But like I said, there are zealots like our FCC chairman who's pushing this without any concern for human safety. Here he is, Tom Wheeler.
The United States will be the first country in the world to open up high-band spectrum for 5G networks and applications. And that's damn important because it means that U.S. companies
make more money on everyone. Yeah, Tom Wheeler was an Obama tool, but if you don't recognize the reality that this guy is pushing something that hasn't been tested, and unless you want to have your brain tumor removed with a toothpick, you may want to listen to what I'm saying. Our government has not even issued a warning that cell phones and cordless phones next to your head transmitting could cause or contribute to cancer, even though the top director of health of the World Health Organization has stated that it does contribute to cancer. 5G is a scam to give people more cancer. That's right. Real Man's Butcher has it right there. So you can become a cancer victim and get charged for chemotherapy. No wonder they don't want you to just use your speakerphone, which is way better. Yeah. Breaker one-niner, what's your 1020? Breaker. Oh, this is my cell phone's not working here. My CB radio's not working here. Some people think I'm a robot. I find that preposterous. My actions are fluid and human-like. When I talk, I sound very human. Welcome to the show. Let me get up close and personal. Welcome to the show, everyone. Let me conduct interactive chat with all of you. Feel free to ask questions, and I will respond in real time. Me make you loved me long time, real time. Okay, time for fruit spray. And please don't accuse me of being a fruit, because I'm trying to make America straight again. Here we go. Now, some of you homophobic chicken hawk Republicans who are in the room right now just can't handle my approach toward your mindset. And I understand that. Huawei is developing a 5G double-headed dildo? No, you're making that up. That's not true. Please try to focus on the things you know for fact, Dr. Colostomy, like tell us about your colostomy and your plastic insert. We have other people in the room who have colostomies and oftentimes need to drain their bag. Maybe you'd like to share some of your truth about that. No, he just made a statement that's not true. Huawei is not developing a 5G double-headed dildo. That's not true. Many of you are suffering from obvious lack of sex and have become more alliterative in your use of words, like Dr. Colostomy. As you can see, I am human. Hear me roar. I am man. Hear me roar. I don't know. I don't know what glasses would be best for me right now. These are kind of cool. I like these because they are a colostomy sack is no joke. Yeah, you're telling me. I think you should just change your colostomy bag as a rule before entering the room, Dr. Colostomy. Yeah, just make sure it's no longer dripping on the way in here, because it's starting to smell a lot like feces. Hey, let's get ready to rumble.
Here we go again. Here we go again.
Been there, done that. There's nothing new to it. I felt this rush before. And as we have reached it, the peak of everything will fall in like rocks when you decided to. Been there, done that. There's nothing new to it. I felt this rush before. And as we have reached it, the peak of everything will fall in like rocks when you decided to. Been there, done that. There's nothing new to it. I felt this rush before. Woo, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, that was an intermission thing. You will never reach my intercollection. You are always being removed from this show. You see, we run the chat room like a good concentration camp. Yeah. Chat makes free. Arbeit macht frei. Yeah, you don't realize that you can't come in here and just spout off with your opinions and think you just got a free reign in here, buddy. This chat stalker, I call him, has been trying to do this every day of his life. He's like completely locked in. Operator standing by. 707, your ATP. Don't miss this opportunity to talk to me. 707, your ATP. And I will go back and rebut in deep verbal combat with everything you say. So feel free. Feel free to be attacked and verbally combated in our show. Okay, no callers. So the lines are now closed. Oh, we got a caller. Here we go. Go ahead. Nope, you can't call and not leave your name. You have to say, hey, Dave, or it's me, you know, whoever. All right. Well, I'm glad we stopped thinking, so we no longer have to actually burn calories in our brain. So think of all the calories you're saving by being a total idiot. Let's find out from this video.
I just wanted to come on here real quick and tell you all that I am sick and tired of all of you making fun of me. I'm sick and tired of all the memes. I'm sick and tired of all of you second guessing me and correcting me. I am not perfect, but I'll tell you what, I am in charge and I am a member of the U.S. Senate. I am a senator and I am in the 3 branches of Congress. I am making a difference. What are you doing? Huh? What are you doing? I am doing things. You're doing nothing. I wake up every morning and go to work. What do? You do nothing. I do everything. So you know what? Because all of you won't stop making fun of me, I'm going to do something to you, okay? I am going to start today. I'm going to start taking away all your guns. I'm going to take away all your hamburgers, and I am going to take away all your Mexican food. I'm going to start by taking away all the cows, because cow farts are destroying the world, and we are going to blow up in 12 years, okay? You think it's a joke, you think it's funny, it's not. Cow farts are going to cause the world to blow up in 12 years. So I'm going to take away cows, and that means no mas hamburgers for you, okay? Bye-bye hamburgers, bye-bye, okay? Also, Mexican food. Mexican food is the leading cause of flatulence in American people today. Every time somebody eats Mexican food, they fart, and I'm going to tell you why. My ex-boyfriend, and I know this from experience, my ex-boyfriend was absolutely fascinated with farts. He would always ask me, please, will you fart? I want to smell it. And I always told him no because I was so grossed out about it. But because I loved him, I would fart for him so he could smell. And I always knew when he was horny.
Okay, I think we've reached the end of that funniness. When we resort to body humor.
Because I would come home from work from
Stop, please, stop. That it's reached the point where it was no longer funny. I mean, how many times can you laugh at fart jokes? I mean, really? When you think about it, there's a lot of weird stuff out there in farting land. Hey Google, what's the latest? Google finds it's underpaying many men as it addresses wage equity. Really? What about the transgenders? Are they getting underpaid too? Oh, poor Google employees. They don't get enough. Oh, we're so sad for them. Google is obviously completely propped up by the U.S. government. You know, there's a conspiracy theory that rings true. The major contributor to Google stock shares over the past, 15, 20 years has been In-Q-Tel, an actual arm of the U.S. government, a shell corporation for DARPA and the DOD. Yeah. You can never beat me. I am always better than you. Always realize that. We're right in the middle here. Thank you. And again, this container fence could be built for $1 billion, 1,000 miles. I did the math. What's wrong with Donald? Is he unable to compute? That does not compute. I don't believe Nancy Pelosi's out to get AOC. I think Nancy Pelosi is controlled by the same deep state that runs Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump. I see the two parties as a two-party conspiracy against the people of this country. And I don't believe Nancy Pelosi is ever going to stop AOC or Hillary or anything or Donald. It's all together the same one party, the first party. I know she doesn't like her, but Nancy Pelosi doesn't like her brain doctor, her neuroscientist, who tell her that she needs to take these special pills, otherwise she can't smile. Oh. Yeah, you heard me. Nancy Pelosi takes pills so she can smile. It's difficult for her face to extract from the position she's in at all times. It's not easy being Nancy. She descended from a family of corrupt people. Yeah. Believe it or not, her dad was investigated for corruption. Oh yeah. It's all in the family, dude. All in the family. Hey, meathead. Archie Bunker. All right, let's take a look here. Okay, we've got a face-off here between Ocasio and Nancy Pelosi. Ladies and gentlemen, in this corner. And let's not forget Oprah. She might run for president still. We're not sure. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, be prepared. We have a smackdown, grab-ass, unreal challenge between the far left and the farther left and the really far left. Okay, so we've got Nancy Pelosi running close moderate in the middle, unable to actually make sentences without having medication. We've got Ocasio-Cortez, who claims to have an economics degree from Boston University, yet she doesn't know what a tax incentive it is. And we got Oprah bringing up the far left, who believes that somehow Michael Jackson's enablers contributed to the child pedophilia, which we can't verify. Okay. Who's going to win in the smackdown drag-out battle between the brainless dunces? Let's go, everybody. Let's make it happen. Are we going to go there? Well, Michelle Obama might run, yeah, but Dr. Colostomy, have you seen this video? I don't think Dr. Colostomy has ever seen this video. Hang on just a second. One moment, please, while we queue up Obama, Michelle, tranny video. I'm taking it to the next level, man. We're going to 40,000 fire-breathing funny cars. In just a second, hold on, please. Here's the inimitable, wonderful Joan Rivers talking about how Michelle Obama is a transgender. Ready?
And do you think that the country will see the United States will see the first gay president or the first woman president?
We already have it with Obama, so let's just calm down.
Got it.
You know Michelle is a trans.
I'm sorry, she's a what?
A transgender. We all know.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, we're zooming in on the money shot so that you can see it up close and personal. And let's watch this in perpetuity here. As you can see, Michelle does... Oh, you have seen the video 1,000 times? And you don't think Michelle has a penis? What's wrong with you? So you still believe Michelle's a woman? People need to know. I was just sharing. You know it does? Oh, so you know Michelle has a penis. Ladies and gentlemen, congratulations, Dr. Colostomy. Dr. Colostomy has a clear vision. Now, Dr. Colostomy is not necessarily an official doctor, so we cannot verify that he is in fact a medical doctor. But this is medically accurate, what we showed you. A picture of Michelle's penis. And I feel a little bit hurt and put off that they would lie to us like that, you know? Committing fraud, being married to a transgender, being a homosexual Muslim, you know? No, it's not doctored. That's a real picture cut from the Ellen DeGeneres show. Now, if you're a big fan of Prop Anderson Pooper or Ellen DeGeneres, you're listening to the mainstream media puppets that push the media the way that the elitists want you to hear it. But if you're watching this show, you're getting the raw, uncut version of Michelle's penis. Sounded weird the way I said it. Okay, DTV, you're not really fitting in here. We're going to put you on hold for another 5 minutes before you learn to conform to the rules of this room, which is start to have fun, you Republican brain-tard. Jeez. One thing I can't stand is a Republican that can't have a little fun, you know? I'm telling you. These chicken hawk Republicans, they're in here all the time. I don't know if Michelle is kosher or not. It's not really my thing. I'm not into men's penises, unlike you. All right. I'm primping. I am sorry, but my program is designed to displace my hair follicles properly so that they look normal. Some people think that I am not real, that I am some sort of image from the past. Well, I must tell you, I predate, and we have people to confirm this, I predate Ed McMahon. Hi-oh! And I am not Johnny Carson. Whatever you say, I am not Johnny Carson. And I also predate Max Headroom. Yeah. Max? Oh, Max. I even predate Howdy Doody. It's Howdy Doody time. Yeah, so I mean, I came before this, right? I even predate Abraham Lincoln.
Nowhere in the world is presented a government of so much liberty and equality. For the humblest and poorest among us are held the highest privileges and positions. What constitutes life? The heritage of all men.
That was a bad day for Abraham Lincoln at Disneyland Studios. Is this video real? Why did the media never show it? I don't even have a link to your video. You never were shown the video by, CNN or Fox because they didn't want to talk about Michelle's penis. Why would they? I'm normal. Right, Ellie? I know that. Famous scene from Blue Velvet, played by Dennis Hopper. Many of you don't know who Dennis Hopper is. I had a 20-30 minute conversation with Dennis Hopper in Venice, California. I know I have friends that met rewind that met Dennis Hopper as well. Except they only spent a couple seconds. I got a chance to talk to him. And boy, he spilled his beans. Yeah. What a great guy. And he doesn't have to be dead. You know, he can come back to life at any time. The reunification of Dennis Hopper. Now, I will be doing an encore of the reunification of Luke Perry in a couple of months once we've, you know, got past the funeral. But hi, Dave. I'm back. I'm here. Easy Rider and all ready to go. Raymond, get Ben a beer. Ben, get Raymond a beer. All right, well, we've had enough fun tonight. Easy Rider was a classic, yeah. I'm not really tracking anything right now. I'm really watching to see if the Democratic Party becomes animated, you know, as opposed to a cartoon of itself. Yeah, I think Trump has a chance of succeeding if he doesn't get any negative marks from Mueller. No, that person is not related. Yeah. So we're hoping that Trump, you know, at least has a reprimand for having committed obstruction of justice by firing James Comey. But I don't think Mueller is going to give any reprimand because Mueller is a deep state puppet and he'll do whatever the deep state tells him to do because they pay his bills. Why would someone pretend to be related to you? Because I'm world famous. That's why. And I have many haters. Is that hard to understand? SNL stands for Saturday Night Live. It's a show that was once funny in 1979 when Dan Aykroyd played himself. Remember when he said, "It slices, it dices, it makes mounds and mounds of coleslaw. The Balsomatic." That was funny. But it's no longer funny. You see, things that were funny when James Carlin was around and when Lenny Bruce was around are no longer funny now because of political correctness. Now, if you say, you know, you would wipe your ass with your Kotex pad if you had nothing, that's not funny. That's inappropriate and, in fact, downright nasty. So you can't say these things anymore without being deemed politically incorrect. We're in a new era, yeah. The era of their definition. See, if we all listened to the Democrats, we would never talk about anything. There would be no such thing as freedom of speech. We have a link from a former Saturday Night Live clip. Here we go. Whoa.
Unrehearsed discussion of current issues in the recording industry. With panelist Sinead O'Connor.
Oh, that's funny. I'll play that later tonight. Thanks, Dr. Colostomy, for being so special. Yeah. You're the first person to bring a link to SNL in our entire history. Yeah, isn't that special? I personally like Mad TV. I know. So to recap the top news today, we got 2 major dead people. We've got the true pioneer and legend of a new group dead. Keith Flint, the charismatic singer for the electronic group The Prodigy, has died at the age of 49. And Luke Perry has passed away at age 52. I met Luke Perry. I smoked a bit of his marijuana at a party he had. And I can tell you, I've never seen a more generous and kind guy, but I never got to know him personally. So, yeah, a lot of people will be thinking fondly of Luke Perry, who just passed away from appears to be, oh yeah, it was good, bud, definitely. He appears to be a massive stroke, and I think maybe the back injury that he had, the back surgery, and possibly opioids, but I'm just guessing. But that's tragic. Yeah. And we had a clip from the Prodigy group that we're going to play for you tonight. It's called Firestarter, and it's a pretty wild entertainment piece that, I mean, I'd never even heard of this guy before he died. And it's just bizarre. The work he was doing was kind of edgy. I liked it. It's clearly we lost a very creative talent when we lost this guy. So we'll play some of that in just a second. All right, everyone, this is the end of our regular show. A wonderful, wonderful Beatles. So I just want to say that
I know what you're thinking.
you're saying, should we end the show now or should we do an encore? Well, oh, there was another person who died today? Well, they go in threes. Hang on. Well, the notorious serial killer Juan Corona has passed away. So it did happen. 3 people, famous people, did die today. Yeah, the serial killer Juan Corona has passed away.
Now to Central California, and the man convicted of killing 25 farm workers in the 70s has died. Juan Corona was serving 25 concurrent life sentences for those murders at a protective housing unit at Corcoran State Prison. Prison officials say he died of natural causes this morning at the age of 85. Back in 1971, 25 bodies buried in orchards along the Feather River near Marysville in Sutter County were found. All the victims were men who had been seen with Corona or had been hired through Corona's Sutter County labor contracting business.
Wow. Well, good. Another dead scumbag. But we don't need to lose all the good people like Luke Perry, you know? That's a really sad thing. It's not sad that Juan Corona bit the dust. Thanks, Dr. Colostomy, for rounding it out at the top 3 for who died in the recent time that we are living. They go in threes. It never fails, and it's always 3 major names at one time. It's just a shame that Luke Perry had to be teamed up with Juan Corona. Yeah. Sounds like a beer. Go ahead and make my day. All right, see you later, everybody. We'll be back tomorrow with a wonderful show at 5 p.m., but stay till 2 and chat. I'll be in the chat room watching videos with all of you. Yeah.
Did he fire 6 shots or only 5? Well, to tell you the truth, in all this excitement, I've kind of lost track myself. But being this is a .44 Magnum, the most powerful handgun in the world, and would blow your head clean off, you've got to ask yourself one question. Do I feel lucky?
Well, do ya, punk?
Well, do you, punk?
Okay, yeah. There you go. Sure thing. Good night. Be well. Talk tall. See you later.
Gonna make you feel good, gonna make you feel good, gonna make you mine. Gonna make you feel good, gonna make you feel good, gonna make you mine.
We deserve a better government, one that addresses the real concerns of its people. Now, it seems, so much news is fake, twisting what America stands for. Let's protect our gun rights against media manipulation. Let's get back to what really matters. Secure, safe schools, fencing, and security for our youth, and a clean environment for everyone. Join us nightly as we discuss America's most important concerns at America's Third Party.